Today we're going to make a crawfish pie. I got a recipe from my sister and it's really good. It came out really good. She gave me the recipe and we've eaten it a couple of times and we're gonna make it today. So let's get started. Today the ingredients we're gonna use for the crawfish pie is a half of a cup, which is 1 stick of butter, 1 large onion, a half of a bell pepper. I have 3 cloves of garlic, 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. We're going to use a couple teaspoons of konriko seasoning. I have this Pampered Chef pan that we're going to make it in. And I have these Pillsbury dough pie crusts that are rolled up, and you just open the package and unroll them, and we're going to fit them in our pan. And I have 2 pounds of Louisiana crawfish and some cornstarch. So I'm going to cut up the onion, the bell pepper, the garlic. Okay, I have my bell pepper chopped, my onion chopped, my garlic chopped. I forgot about the green onions. I went and grabbed a handful out of the garden that we're going to add. But for right now, we're going to get a skillet and put our butter in it, and we're going to fry down our vegetables until they're cooked. I guess about 10 minutes. So let's see how to make this crawfish pie. I have my 12-inch skillet on the stove. I'm going to put the fire on a medium high, and I'm going to add 1 stick of butter. Let our butter melt a little bit, and then we're going to add our vegetables. Okay, now that our butter is melted, we're going to add our onions, bell pepper, and garlic, and we're going to cook them until they're softened. You want to mix your vegetables good with your butter so they can get coated with the butter. You want to stir them every once in a while. We don't want to burn them, but we definitely want them to cook. So you have to let them cook a little while, then stir them, and then do it again. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes and they looking soft. You can tell the bell peppers, the change in the color. The color darkens. They're not as bright as they were. Now we're going to add 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. It's 10.5 ounces. I washed the lid. And I'm going to add 2/3 cup of heavy whipping cream. I'm going to lower the fire. And I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of konriko. This would be my salt and pepper. And I have 3 tablespoons of cornstarch and 1/4 cup of water. And I'm going to mix these together. It's a 1/4 cup of cold water. You want to mix it before you add it. Make sure the cornstarch is dissolved. We're going to stir our other ingredients. And then we're going to make sure that our cornstarch is dissolved in our 1/4 cup of water. Okay, now you can feel the cornstarch on the bottom of the bowl, so you'll know when it's finished mixing well, because you won't feel that sticky cornstarch on the bottom. So it's finished dissolving in our 1/4 cup of water, and we're going to add that. To our mixture. That cornstarch is going to make it thick. So I'm going to turn off the fire. And we're going to set that aside for a minute. I'm going to heat my oven to 400 degrees. Okay, while our oven is heating, we're going to take one of our crusts, our pie crust. It comes 2 in a box. We're going to unroll the pie crust, put it in our pan, and it's not quite big enough, so I'm going to take a roller and roll it out. This is a 2-sided roller. It comes in handy for rolling inside of pans. I'm gonna take a fork and poke some holes in the pie crust because we're gonna bake it about 7 minutes and I don't want it to rise. So this will let the air through so it shouldn't bubble. We want to put some on the sides also. Okay. Check the corners to make sure all the air is out on the edge. Okay, we're gonna set this aside, and as soon as our oven is heated, we're gonna bake it. This is our filling for our crawfish pie. I'm gonna put it on low. Now we're gonna add our green onions. This is optional. I had some growing outside, so I picked a handful. Okay, now that we have our green onions mixed in, we're gonna add our 2 pounds of crawfish meat. I have 2 pounds of Louisiana crawfish peeled, just the tails. That was 1, this is 2. Okay, we have our 2 pounds of crawfish tails added, so I'm going to mix it up. We turn it on low. This is a 12-inch skillet, but you could probably use a little larger. I wouldn't go any smaller. Just keep working with it until you get all the crawfish mixed in with the filling. Okay, now that all of our crawfish is mixed in with our filling, I'm going to turn the fire off and we're going to set it aside until our pie crust is finished baking. Our oven is almost heated. Our oven is heated to 400 degrees. We're going to bake our pie crust for 7 minutes. Alright, our bottom pie crust has been baking for 7 minutes. Now we're going to take it out of the oven. We want it to cook a little bit. That way it won't be raw when we go to eat our crawfish pie. So we cooked our bottom crust for 7 minutes at 400 degrees. Now we're going to add our filling that we prepared earlier in our pie crust. You just want to spread it around and make sure that your filling is even. Now that we have our filling in our pie crust, we're going to take the pie crust that goes on the top and we're going to take it out of the bag and unroll it. We're going to set it right over the top. Try to stick it as well as you can to the edges. It's a little hard. Before we stick it in the oven, I'm going to put some slits in the top of the pie crust to let the steam out. Now we're going to put it back in the oven at 400 degrees for 25 minutes. It's been 25 minutes of cooking for our crawfish pie, and here it is. It is finished. We're going to let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to cut it open and try it. Okay, our crawfish pie is done. Now we're going to cut it and put it on our plate. You don't have to cut it. You can just use a spoon and it may work better. It's still pretty hot. All right, let's try a spoon. Let's try a bite. Oh, it looks and smells so delicious. Very good. Thanks for watching. Please share, subscribe, and like. Have a great day. Hope you enjoy your pie. Thank you.